Hello friends, I am R.K. Patil, Assistant Professor from Department of Geography, Vasantrao Naik College, Shahada. Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the first unit of topic ecosystem. The meaning of ecosystem is ecology is the branch of the biology that examines the interaction between living organisms and their physical environment. Then, the meaning of ecosystem is a natural unit of living community and a non-living environment interacting and exchanging material between themselves is called an ecosystem. In short, interaction between living and non-living things is an ecosystem. The definition of ecosystem is made by A.J. Tansley in 1935. Ecosystem is defined as it is any spatial unit of nature where living substances interact to produce an exchange of materials between the living and non-living components. The, then the concept of ecosystem. The concept of ecosystem is having two components. These are living world and non-living world. There is a relationship between living and non-living things. A living thing is being called as organism. The organisms are characterized by certain characters like capacity of movement, nutrition, respiration, growth, reproduction, and excretion. In this regard, they are categorized as living organisms. Ernst Haeckel coined the science of ecology, thus implying the interrelationship study of living organisms and their habitats. The term ecology roots from the Greek word that is oikos, suggesting a place to live, the place for organism. Environmentally, ecology is the study of the flow of energy and material within an ecosystem. It is flow of energy and material within an ecosystem and the behavioral interaction among plants, animals, and environment. Organisms living a group are called as population. Now, the term is given population. Population means organisms living in a group is called as organism. Then, about the community. The community is also about the organism. The community and physical habitat function together, such as an ecosystem. Here, the term community means population occupying the area form the community. The ecosystem is the term which was first used by A.G. Tunsley in 1935. Then, cardinal principles of an ecosystem. In an ecosystem, there are basically three cardinal principles. They are ecosystem structure, cycling of nutrients, and energy flow. Structure of and components of an ecosystem are like biotic and abiotic components form the structure of ecosystem. Biotic components consist of living things and abiotic components consisting of non-living things like habitat, gases, solar radiation, temperature, rainfall, organic and inorganic materials, etc. The living organisms are subdivided into producer, consumer, and decomposers. Geographical factors play an important role to form ecosystem, and the types are divided into different. Like these are the location, climate, soil, vegetation, rock, minerals, etc. While discussing regarding the structure of an ecosystem, as we know that the structure of an ecosystem is composed of biotic and abiotic factors. As far as biotic components are concerned, here we can say like this: a biotic component of ecosystem constitute habitat, gases, temperature, moisture, climatic factors, edaphic factors, nutrients, energy, etc. Among the abiotic components, habitats play a vital role in maintaining the ecosystem. Throughout the surface of the earth, the habitats are not characterized by same characters. They differ they differ from place to place. For instance, habitat in an equatorial region, habitat in a polar region are different from one another. For the example, when we discuss about the habitat in Antarctica, it is not so favorable to run or to maintain the ecosystem, where the geographical factors are relatively weak for maintaining the ecosystem. When we discuss regarding the ecosystem of polar region, here the habitat is not so supporting for the survival to organisms. However, Very limited organisms are existed in these habitats, and it is because of their strong adaptive characters. In this way, habitats differ from place to place. There are two major habitats. These are terrestrial habitat and aquatic habitats. Terrestrial habitat includes soil or land, and it is the major element. Aquatic habitat where the water body is an important factor. As we know that the surface of the earth is covered by water, and that is about 71%. And so 71% aquatic habitat on earth is characterized by different characters. Three major types of aquatic habitats are classified, like freshwater habitat, estuarine habitat, and saltwater habitat. Freshwater habitat includes pond, lake, river, stream, and so on. Estuarine habitat is found at the mouth of a river where salt and fresh water mixes. Then saltwater habitats are ocean and seas. In this way, the habitats are broadly divided into two types. These are terrestrial habitats and aquatic habitat. Then another important abiotic component of ecosystem structure is gases. All organisms are required certain gases in order to live, and these are useful for the survival of biosphere. For the example, CO2 is required by the plants for the process of photosynthesis. Then oxygen is required for respiration, nitrogen for growth, and so on. The major source of gases is the atmosphere. Some gases dissolved in water and present in soil. In this way, among the abiotic components of ecosystem structure, habitat gases play a vital role. And another important one component of uh, ecosystem is inorganic and organic nutrients. All living organisms require certain material and salts for their vital activities. Here, our discussion is regarding inorganic and organic nutrients. The plants absorb salt from water in their habitat, and animals require it from water and food. Some minerals such as phosphorus, calcium, sulfate, iron, salt, potassium, etc. are required in a large amount, while some minerals like manganese, copper, cobalt, etc. are required in a small amount. Some minerals are required in large amounts and some minerals are required in small amounts. Plants. Plants are known as autotrophs, and plants absorb inorganic and organic substances from their aquatic environment and synthesize their own nutrients. But heterotrophs, these are the animals, require organic nutrients by consuming autotrophs. Next abiotic component is energy. Energy is the capacity to do work. The main source of energy for ecosystem is the solar radiation. Means solar radiation is a driving force of energy for the ecosystem. The solar energy is continuously trapped by plants and used for various activities of organisms. There are two major energy circuits: the grazing circuits and organic detritus circuits. In a grazing circuit, animal which living plants, and about the organic detritus circuits in which dead materials accumulate and are decomposed by bacteria and fungi. Another component of ecosystem structure is biotic component. And the biotic components are like this: the plants, animals, and microorganisms present in an ecosystem form the biotic components. Here, autotrophic components, heterotrophic components, producer, consumer are most important. About the first, that is the autotrophic components. Autotrophic components are the green plants which can prepare their own organic food from inorganic substances like H2O, CO2, and minerals in the presence of sunlight. This process is known as photosynthesis. The energy in the organic is in the form of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Then heterotrophic components. Heterotrophic components are animals, bacteria, fungi, etc. These components utilize the food stored by autotrophic components. Yeah, whatever food energy is stored in a plant, it is utilized by heterotroph. And heterotrophs are animals, bacteria, and fungi. Rearrange it finally decomposes complex material into simple inorganic components. In the ecosystem, the autotrophs and heterotrophic components, in the ecosystem, the autotrophic and heterotrophic components are arranged in a layer. The Autotrophic actually and is a greater in a layer, upper layers where maximum sunlight is available. From the structural point of view, there are three components, and these are producer, consumer, and decomposers. All green plants are called producers because plants can produce food for other living organisms. Producers are the first of fundamental components of ecosystem. These are the photosynthetic plants which capture radiant energy from the sun and convert it to store chemical energy. In the process of photosynthesis, CO2 is absorbed and light energy is converted into chemical energy. Oxygen is evolved as byproduct and it is used in respiration by all living organisms. In a terrestrial ecosystem, plants are the major producer. In an oceanic or in an ocean ecosystem, microscopic planktons and in a lake and ponds, the producers are rooted or floating plants. In this way, producers play important role to maintain the ecosystem. Another biotic component is consumer. Consumers include all the kinds of animals. Consumers are living members of the ecosystem which consume the food product produced by plants. All the animals on the earth are dependent on other for the food. Hence, they are called heterotrophs. Heterotrophs in Marathi, we have to say producer. We have to say purposhi, heterotroph. And plants are called autotrophs, means in Marathi we have to say swayamposhi. Then the groups of consumers. There are different groups of consumers. First one is primary consumer, second one is secondary consumers, third one is tertiary consumers, fourth one is parasite consumers. About the first, that is the primary consumer. Primary consumers are herbivorous animals which depend for their food on green plants. And these are rabbit, cow, deer, goat, etc. And these are herbivorous animals. Another group of consumer is a secondary consumer. These are carnivorous and omnivorous animals. Carnivorous are flesh-eating animals. Omnivorous are flesh as well as plant-eating animals. And secondary consumers are fox, cat, dog, human, many birds, etc. Then tertiary consumers. These are top carnivorous animal which depend on other carnivores or omnivorous and herbivorous as their food. And the top Carnivore, uh, carnivores are lion, tiger, hawk, etc. Then the parasite consumers. These parasite plants and animals utilize the living tissues of different host plants and animals. Dead parts of animals and plants are eaten by these consumers. And next one is decomposers. Decomposers obtain their nutrition by breaking down the complex compound to simple organic compounds and ultimately into inorganic nutrient and usable by the producers. Various bacteria and fungi are decomposers. These are heterotrophic organisms. Decomposers of ecosystem attack a dead remaining of plants and animals and degrade the complex substances into simple compound and finally change into inorganic substances which can be reused by plants and animals. The decomposer plays very important role in maintaining the dynamic nature of ecosystem. The reference books are referred like Environmental Geography by Ravinder Singh, Environmental Science, then Perspective in Environmental Studies and Environmental Geography. It's the textbook and some are the reference books. Uh, Friends, uh, during the next period, we have to continue another topic from the same unit, that is functioning of ecosystem. So the next period will be continued afterward. Thank you.